DJ Spark here, songwriter, artist. Today, you and I are going to be talking about this Roddy Ricch album. Titled Live Life Fast, this Roddy Ricch album has been so hyped up, very anticipated. I was very excited for this album. Roddy Ricch has been on fire lately. His Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial album was great. He's done amazing features this year, especially that Pure Souls feature on Donda was top tier. So I want to start out by saying this about the album. He starts out by narrating on the intro track on LLF, which is obviously Live Life Fast. And he talks about how he needs to slow life down and how he was taught to get fast money, get fast things, fast women, etc. But how he realizes that that's not really the way to live, and how you can, it's kind of like a crash course and how you can get into really big trouble living like that. And he narrates that over some beautiful piano ballad, and he takes that sample from Live Fast, Die Young, Kanye, Rick Ross, and it's truly a beautiful intro. It really set the tone for this album. And he says he wants to take his time with life. That time is the most expensive luxury, and it's something you spend but never get back, and you don't know how much you have left. So there's so much introspective thought on this intro. But then the rest of the album is about living fast. And most of the lyrics and themes on this album is about raunchy sex, partying, money. So the exact same thing that set the tone for this project at the very beginning, that got me so excited for the first couple minutes, kind of just slowly faded away throughout the album as there wasn't a ton of introspective substance throughout it. Like, how is this intro so poetic and introspective, and you're on your Socrates shit, and then just talk about these material things for the rest of the record and just throw all that out the window, which is fine. But when you start the concept with that album on that intro, it really just led me to a different place. Like I said, Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial was a good album. Sonically, I really enjoyed it, and I really expected him to grow into his own and mature his penmanship here. But I didn't really see that growth that I was hoping for throughout this project. Lyrically, there were some strong play on words that we know Roddy Ricch for. We know that he can be really good with the pen. But there were also some pretty weak bars on here. For example, like, a lot of people have been talking about this bar on Everything You Need. He says, "If you wanna ride on me like a typhoon, let me eat you like some food." Like, I know people have been mentioning this line all day, but bro, he has so much more potential than a bar like that. And what happened to that penmanship, like on Pure Souls? There's so many quotable lines from that verse, like went through stages just to hop on new stages. And there's just so many quotable lines from that track. That verse was top tier. A lot of his features from this year were top tier. And a lot of the hooks on this album were just bland and a bit disappointing. Like, Rollercoastin was one of my favorite songs on here. I loved the production, and I thought the verses were great. I actually thought that song was really clean, except for the hook. The hook, it just seemed a bit weak and pitchy to me. Like the verses are vibes, but then you get to the hook. I really like the production on that one. That's one of my favorite productions. I just thought the hook brought down the song a little bit. And I also felt like he sounded like Young Thug on a lot of these parts. I thought about that with the last project, but on a lot of the features this year, he started to come onto his own. But I even thought he sounded like Big Sean on some parts on some of these songs. But he has such a great voice and flow. He doesn't need to mimic like that at all. Now let's talk about the production. Production-wise, I did feel like a lot of the songs were just songs that I've already listened to before hundreds of times. I felt like, at least half of the beats were pretty pedestrian. Although on these songs, I did thoroughly enjoy the production on Paid My Dues, Rollercoastin, Crash the Party, More Than a Trend, and Mad Made. I thought the production on these had some darker, smoother synths that really felt like that nighttime vibe that we really know and love Roddy Ricch for. They were just a lot smoother than a lot of the other instrumentals on the project. Definitely had some nice guitar and piano loops that really added some nice layers to the production. So those songs were definitely vibes for me, and especially the end of Thailand. I actually did enjoy that song, but the strings at the end really brought the song together. I loved the composition of those strings so much, and I think they should have just risked it and used that production throughout the whole song. Like, everything doesn't have to be so trap and sound the same over and over. I felt like half of these, a lot of the instrumentals were the same aside for, you know, a couple synths or the drum patterns. But like, you listen to the first 3/4 of Thailand and you get this production. You know, bird lounging by the pool. You know, Double coming with the woo. Right, like definitely a banger, but definitely a bit mid. But then you get to the end and you hear these. Just for the show. You know, I'm popping every routine. Got a lot of these. I love that. I think they should have done that throughout the whole song and put those trap drums over those strings. I think that would have been incredible. As far as the features, I definitely thought the features were big redeeming qualities of the album. I thought all of the features were at least good. And then I saw there was a Jamie Foxx feature, but of course, no Jamie Foxx vocals, so that was disappointing. But Takeoff, Kodak Black, Fivio Foreign, 21, Dolla, all good features, honestly. I thought they performed well, and there was really decent penmanship on all of these features. I really enjoyed the back and forth rapping between Takeoff and Roddy was brilliant. Paid My Dues, definitely a great song, one of the best songs on this album. Overall, like I said, I think Roddy Ricch is an amazing potential. I think he is a great vocalist, and I think he does provide a great flow that drags people into his music. And we've seen what he can do on previous projects and features from this year. But unfortunately, this album as a whole just didn't live up to the hype, in my opinion. It's definitely kind of all over the place, and then it just didn't stick with the theme that I thought it was gonna have in the opening track. Overall replayability, I definitely think there are songs that are going to get a lot of replay value on here. For me personally, my favorite songs were More Than a Trend, Late at Night, 25 Million, Murda 1. I love Fivio Foreign. I absolutely think he killed it. Man Made, Crash the Party, and Paid My Dues. I thought those were the best songs on the album. I really did enjoy those tracks. But let's see what he does with the next project. I know a decent amount of people were definitely disappointed just because of the hype around Roddy Ricch. We know how talented he is, but overall, just a bit disappointing. So what did you think of Live Life Fast by Roddy Ricch? At the end of the day, music is subjective, of course, so we're all gonna have different opinions on this record. Did you enjoy it? Were you disappointed? Did you love it? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you for watching. If you liked the video, hit a like and subscribe to the channel if you love listening to music and talking music just as much as I do. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter at EJSpark1. And as always, you know what it is. It's peace, love. I love s'mores. EJ, out.